You know exactly what you need to do. The task is right there. It's important, you want it done, and instead, you're cleaning your desk, checking your phone, making another coffee, doing literally anything else. And here's the strangest part, you're not even enjoying it. The whole time you're avoiding the task, there's a low hum of guilt in the background. You're not relaxing, you're just delaying. So, why do we do this? Why do we put off the very things we care about most? For a long time, the answer was simple: laziness, poor discipline, bad time management. But psychologists who actually study procrastination have thrown that explanation out. Because when they look closely, procrastination has almost nothing to do with time and everything to do with emotion. Here's the key insight: procrastination is not a time management problem, it's a mood management problem. When you look at a task and feel that wall of resistance, your brain isn't saying, I don't want to work. It's saying, I don't want to feel what this task makes me feel. Maybe the task is boring. Maybe it's confusing and you don't know where to start. But for the big ones, the career move, the creative project, the difficult conversation, the feeling underneath is usually something sharper: fear. And your brain treats emotional discomfort like a threat. The same circuitry that pulls your hand away from a hot stove pulls your attention away from the scary task. Avoidance works instantly. The dread vanishes the moment you open a different tab. Your brain just learned avoiding feels better. Do it again. That's the procrastination loop. It's not weakness, it's a perfectly functioning threat avoidance system pointed at the wrong target. But why would a task you want to do register as a threat? This is where it gets interesting. Psychologists point to something called fear of failure, but it's more specific than it sounds. What we're actually afraid of is what failure would say about us. Think about it. If you never really try and it doesn't work out, you have an excuse. I did it last minute. I wasn't really trying. Your identity stays safe. But if you give something your full effort, your genuine, no excuses best, and it still fails, now the failure feels like it's about you, your ability, your worth. Procrastination quietly protects you from that. It's a shield for your self image. Every delay keeps alive the comforting story: I could have done it properly, I just didn't have time. That's why the tasks we care about most are often the ones we avoid hardest. The more something matters to your identity, the more dangerous full effort feels. There's one more piece. Your brain treats future you like a stranger. Brain imaging studies show something remarkable. When you think about yourself next month, your brain activates more like it's thinking about another person than about you. So when you say, I'll do it tomorrow, it doesn't feel like breaking a promise to yourself. It feels like handing the problem to someone else. Present you gets the relief. Future you, that vague stranger, gets the deadline. Except future you is still you, and they inherit the same task, now with less time and more panic. So, what actually helps? Not try harder. Three things that work with the machinery instead of against it. First, shrink the first step until it's not scary. Don't write the report. Open the document and write one ugly sentence. The fear lives in the size and vagueness of the task. A 2-minute step slips under the threat detector. And once you start, momentum usually carries you. Starting is the hard part, not continuing. Second, make friends with the discomfort. Research shows that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating actually procrastinate less on the next task because shame fuels the avoidance loop. Notice the dread, name it. This feels scary because it matters, and do the small step anyway. You don't have to feel ready. Nobody feels ready. Third, lower the stakes of failure on purpose. Call the first attempt a draft, a rehearsal, version 0. If failure doesn't threaten your identity, your brain has nothing to protect you from, and the resistance quietly deflates. Procrastination was never about laziness. It's your brain protecting you from discomfort, from judgment, from what failure might mean about who you are. You don't beat it with discipline. You beat it by making the task less threatening, the first step smaller, and failure cheaper. The task is still right there, but maybe now, so are you.